Explore the endless bounds of space with all new LEGO building sets. From engineering wonders like LEGO Technic NASA Apollo Lunar Roving Vehicle to astronaut dog walkers, there is a perfect LEGO set for everyone on Earth. First launched in 1978, space sets have been igniting people's curiosity through the ultimate creative medium of LEGO bricks. Their newest collection is sure to propel the wonder for exploration and adventure across the galaxies. Be inspired by LEGO sets that are out of this world. Visit Amazon.com/LEGO Space to see the full collection.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Christine, the show that teaches you how to survive the things that could kill you,
like owl attacks, bullet wounds, and deadly falls,
and the things that just make you wish you were dead.
Like calling your boss dad or throwing up at school, forgetting your ID at the airport.
Oh, that sounds like a freaking nightmare.
Let's just play the song.
Yeah.
On fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. How to survive. How to survive.
Welcome to How to Survive with Danielle and Christine. I am Danielle.
Hi, I'm Christine.
Christine, how are you?
I'm pretty happy to be here.
Good. Did you have a good Easter with the kids?
No.
Not a good Easter. He has not risen.
He did not rise in my house. Here's what happened. My in-laws always take care of Easter. They send a big box full of all the candy and presents from Germany.
Uh-huh.
It was delayed in, what's it called?
Customs?
Customs, thank you. And so I had to scurry and get a bunch of stuff really quickly together. Because,
so wait, first of all, two questions. Do they celebrate Easter in Germany?
Yes.
The same way we do?
Yes.
Nonsense?
Yes, same nonsense.
And second, so do the kids think the Easter Bunny, like when they were little or still, do they think the Easter Bunny is from Germany?
German,
or do they know it comes from Germany? Or I
think they know it's from their grandparents, but they're also enjoying suspending their disbelief.
Great. Got it.
So we basically just have to transfer all the goods into a couple baskets. That's all I have to do.
Gotcha.
And we do an egg hunt in our house.
Okay, great.
So we put stuff in little plastic eggs.
You can't put it outside because of all the critters.
We can't because, yes, the coyotes and the raccoons and the birds. The eagles would swoop down.
Yes.
Hawks.
Right.
It's all a problem.
Right.
So then I quickly ordered some stuff on Amazon because I'm the devil. And that was the fastest way I could get stuff within a couple days.
Well, you are...
Oh, I'm also homebound. I
crutches.
I can't drive.
Right.
I'm on opioids. It's not going to happen that I'm going to just
It's an opioid Easter.
It is an opioid.
Opioid.
Yeah. It's a dope sick Easter.
Yes.
So also the night before, my son became very sick.
Right.
With a fever. We were sure he had COVID.
Yeah.
And so I was up with him most of the night.
It would be on brand for Benji to have COVID.
It would be.
Let's face it, it's kind of weird that he hasn't had it yet.
It's really strange that I was like, of course my entire family gets COVID when I'm on crutches and a leg brace and taking
on Easter
a lot of drugs. So I let my husband take care of hiding the eggs, and then I slept through Easter.
Oh, drugs?
Yeah.
Okay, but did the kids have fun?
They loved it.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't so bad.
It was fine.
And then didn't you say that Alex had a birthday party to go to on Easter?
Yes.
It's so weird.
So then they went off and to this birthday party, and Benji and I stayed home, and we hung out, and it was nice. You know what we did? We laid in bed and we did New York Times kids crossword puzzles.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
A lot of the New York Times have kids sections.
I should probably do that one.
I save those when they come.
Aww.
I still get a physical paper because,
because you're the devil.
Because I'm the devil. And I save those up, and then we'll do those together.
How fun.
So that was kind of nice.
That's nice.
How about your Passover?
Passover was very nice. We went to my cousin's. We ate outside. It was varyingly freezing and bright sun in our face, but I still liked it. It was good.
Do you dress up for this, and do you get to wear something nice, or is it super cash?
It's cash, and I just dress warm because I knew we were going to be outside. So it's not that I don't look. I mean, I wore a nice sweater, but it's heavy sweater because it's.
You didn't get an opportunity to wear that fancy pink dress again.
I'm not wearing that fancy. I think I'm going to return it.
Oh, man.
I don't know if I talked about it last week. I was invited to a party where you had to wear pink, and in my I don't know, little girl Disney head thought that it was like a big deal, and I had to be like all pink.
It was a big deal,
but not when I got there. It really wasn't.
That's because people in California don't have any sense of like. You should dress up.
Well,
I don't like that.
I'm not saying people weren't dressed up. It's just that they weren't in head to toe pink. And I, for some reason, thought it had to be like, I could have just worn a pink sweater and like black pants. Or, Boo, you say, right. So I bought a nice dress.
Yes, as
I was
you
freezing.
should.
It's fuchsia. It's a wrap dress. I don't have a torso. These always cause problems. It's flapping open all night.
You know what? To people's delight.
To people's delight. I was wearing a bra. I'm not, I was wearing what I like to call a helper bra.
All my bras are helper bras.
So helpful that it should get medical and dental. It was working overtime. It put in its hours and stayed late at the office. This bra needs a promotion.
I mean, you know what?
I'd say it would need a raise, but it already had that.
Get your ass back on a stage, and that is your closer. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Today I'm going to talk about how to survive falls that can kill you.
Ooh, okay, that's great. This is not a fall from an airplane where someone's shooting you at the same time.
I mean, we might.
Okay.
We might get there.
Okay.
I'm going to start with a story.
Okay.
There's going to be a lot of stories.
We're mixing things up today.
You know what? We're going to learn through other people's mistakes.
Love it. I don't learn from my own, so I might as well learn from someone else's.
Let's learn from someone else's. I'm going to start with the miraculous recovery of a 37-year-old window washer named Alcides Moreno.
Okay.
Who survived a 40...
Oh, my God. A window washer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, 40?
47-story fall.
Holy shit.
Off the side of an apartment building. His brother, who was on the same window washing platform, was killed instantly. How can you survive and recover from such a fall?
You land on your brother. What? That's not the answer.
Okay. I'm going to give you the answers. This is from Slate, by the way. First of all, don't hit your head.
Well, wait, are we going to understand how this happened? Did they fall off of the scaffolding? Did the scaffolding just crash?
I'm going to get you all those answers.
All right.
People who fall just a few stories and land on their head almost always die. According to a study published in the journal Injury, you're just as likely to survive.
They have the Partner magazine insult.
I mean, she's on fire today.
I don't know what that was.
I like it. You're just as likely to survive a 5-story fall landing feet first as you are a 1-story fall head first.
Okay, wait. You're as likely to survive a 1-story fall head first as a 10-story fall.
5-story
fall feet first.
Feet first.
Okay, that makes sense.
Although no one knows exactly how Moreno landed, it's clear he spared his skull.
Okay.
The other body part to avoid injuring in the fall is the pelvis.
Oh, okay.
Which I also saw somewhere else that it's one of the top, like they're the sort of 5 most painful things that can happen to you. And that is in the top 5 is to break your pelvis. So just don't. It's a ring-like structure of 3 bones located at the base of the spine, in case you don't know.
Yeah.
The pelvis is surrounded by large nerves, blood vessels, and the digestive and reproductive organs, so an injury there can cause substantial bleeding, internal organ damage, and ultimately death. According to an analysis of the 200 patients in the New York City area, pelvic injury is second only to head injuries as a predictor of death in fall patients.
Never would have thought of that in a million years.
I was surprised by that too.
Yeah. I thought you were just going to say like, you can't walk again or something, but you're saying it can cause death.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's difficult to land in such a way as to avoid hurting both your head and your pelvis, though, because while landing head first almost surely spells death, landing feet first sometimes causes pelvic injuries due to the force of impact.
Right.
Transmitted up through the legs. All things considered, though, Danielle.
Yeah.
Feet first is the better way to go.
Of course.
If your fall is long enough, it's possible to right yourself to land feet first. This part cracks me. Using the types of body motions used by athletes or acrobats to perform midair somersaults.
Okay.
So,
You're supposed to think of this as you're falling to your death.
Yes.
Okay.
So just keep all this in mind
All right.
as you're falling.
All right.
If you do manage to spare both head and pelvis, as Moreno did, breaking lots of other bones isn't necessarily life-threatening.
Right.
The total number of fractures doesn't strongly affect survival rates. Most will heal over time. Spinal injuries can cause permanent nerve damage and paralysis, but they're generally not fatal.
Right.
So you can break all kinds of bones.
So you could break 1 bone or 50 bones. That's not, I mean, obviously your recovery time will change, but it's not going to determine whether you live or not.
Correct.
Got it.
Another tip for you.
Yeah.
It also helps if something slows down your fall.
Right.
For instance, Alan Maggi, sorry if I'm butchering that name, but I think he's dead now, survived a 20,000-foot fall from his plane during World War II and survived by landing on the glass roof of a French railroad station.
What? 20,000 feet?
Yeah.
But what did the impact? Okay, so he lands on the glass breaks,
And that
slows. I get the slowing part.
Yeah.
Because it's friction or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but still,
he survived that.
that's crazy.
I can't even, it's mind-blowing.
But at least he got to go to France.
You know what?
I mean,
I
on the
hope
bright side.
he enjoyed Paris.
I'm sure he did during the war.
Such a nice place to be. The severity of injuries is closely linked to the speed of impact, which explains why long falls are more dangerous than short ones.
Right.
Velocity correlates with fall distance. In
Right.
2002, a young man survived after falling from the 19th floor of an apartment building and hitting a tree on his way down.
Jesus Christ.
Although it's unlikely that Moreno, I'm going back to the window washer,
Yeah.
hit something during his fall, it appears that he stayed within his window washing scaffolding the entire way down.
Okay.
So he's like, boom, 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 boom.
So, because that's what I was going to say.
He's like
So-
banging stuff.
Right. So window washers are strapped into those scaffolding generally. They're
Yeah.
not just like freewheeling it.
Right.
So the entire structure fell and he was connected to the structure.
That's what I'm assuming.
Okay.
The extra wind resistance provided by its large size may have slowed the descent and reduced the force of impact.
Right.
Some reports have suggested that Moreno's brother was thrown from the scaffolding during the fall, so that made him fall faster.
Oh, Jesus God. Okay, so maybe they weren't strapped in or maybe it broke.
Yeah, they don't really know exactly. If you're unlucky enough to fall a long distance without anything, like a parachute, to slow you down, it's best to lie flat. I'm doing
Yeah.
it right now for some reason. To increase your surface area in contact with the wind, but
Right.
be sure to orient yourself feet first before landing.
So you're supposed to be like in a Jesus pose.
Yes.
Or with your feet out like a jumping jack pose.
Yeah.
Upright.
And
so that
then
you just
right yourself.
break
And then break
your
your
legs.
And hopefully not your pelvis. Oh. Okay. You ready for another
Yeah.
tip?
100%.
This is going to really work out for you, Danielle.
Have no torso.
Yes. Already don't have a torso.
Yes.
No. Be small.
Okay.
This is one situation where size really does matter. Smaller people are going to fall slower, so that's going to give them a better chance at survival.
Okay.
Okay? The answer has to do with the two main forces acting on a falling person. Gravity
Right.
and air resistance. While gravity pulls down on a skydiver's mass, air resistance pushes back. When these two forces equal each other out, you've got terminal velocity, the stable speed at which a skydiver falls. Okay.
Right. So without any friction, the two objects would fall at the same time. But because one takes up more mass,
Yes.
well, then I think you'd want to be bigger. No?
Well,
Okay.
larger people accelerate longer before they attain a terminal velocity, so they hit the ground at a higher speed. Bigger people also have a larger surface area, which increases air resistance.
Right. So I thought air resistance would mean go slower. No?
But Elaine says it's not enough to compensate for the stronger downward force due to their larger
Oh,
mass.
gotcha. Okay.
See how that worked out?
I think so.
I mean, I'm just going to assume that all made sense.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here's another tip. Are you ready?
Yes.
Hit something soft.
Okay.
So if you see a big, like, pile of marshmallows.
Aim for that.
Go for the marshmallows.
Okay.
Go for the like big cotton ball forest.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe like a mattress.
Oh, if you can go into like a landfill? Yeah, of mattresses?
Yes.
Do that.
Do that. Aim for the landfill of mattresses.
I think we get why you would want to land on something softer.
Yeah. It absorbs the, it has give.
It has give.
And it would absorb the impact somewhat.
Here's what they're calling a softer surface. A good thing to land on might be a tree.
Right.
You know, because you're hitting the
Yeah.
branches as you're going down, right?
Yeah.
Water could also be a good target.
Yes.
As long as you don't belly flop.
Okay.
Do not belly flop.
Because?
It'll kill you.
Really?
It could, yeah.
Why? Garen shaking his head, nodding his head like he
Garen.
knows.
Get on the mic, Garen.
Get on the mic. It's like cement. If you land on water flat out, it's like landing on cement. It just obliterates you.
It explodes
Okay.
you.
That's why whenever you see stunts, they're always going in. They always end up like that at the end
Yeah.
of the stunt because it pierces the water instead of.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah, that sounded smart.
You did. You sounded real. You sounded like we have an expert guest, and I appreciate that.
Wow.
You want to land like a pencil
Yes.
and go as deep as possible, which increases your stopping time, decreases your acceleration, but has its drawbacks. You want to know why?
Yeah, I do want to know why.
Do you? Okay. It tends to knock people out.
Oh.
So you survive, but then you might drown.
Oy gevalt.
Here are some other things that are good. Snow,
Yeah.
power lines, and rooftops have caught survivors in the past.
Okay.
It might be a better option than water. So if you're like looking down and you're like, okay.
I love this idea that you can
trees,
decide where
water,
you're going. Right.
power lines,
Right.
Forest of marshmallows.
Right.
You know, you got to kind of,
Feather factory.
you have a lot of things to
Right.
decide between. But there was a woman in 2004. She was a South African skydiver and her parachute failed to open. She fell into power lines, suffered only a fractured pelvis while also escaping electrocution.
See, that's what I would be scared of. But I guess
Me too.
Yeah. Okay.
But I guess it helped her.
Good for her.
Here's another tip. Be young.
Oh,
Youth helps.
okay.
According to a study published in 1994, senior citizens account for about 14% of all falls, but half of all fall-related deaths. An 85-year-old is 100 times more likely to die from a fall than a 5-year-old.
Well, you're saying a fall just like on the ground.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean-
like you just trip and fall, or you're
Yes.
old and your hip goes
That's
out.
a different kind
Okay.
of fall.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
Here's your final tip.
Yeah.
Don't fall in the first place. That's certainly true when it comes to falling out of airplanes. Although people do survive, your chances aren't very good. So it's better to avoid the situation entirely.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in. See, I thought this was going to be like how to survive fall, and it was going to be like get a car sweater.
Oh, cardigan?
Cardigan.
Oh,
yeah,
so
get a
it's
like
the
a
season of fall.
Yeah, the fall. Like drink plenty of hot
Oh,
fluids.
like cider.
Yeah.
Embrace hygge.
Yeah, hygge. That's what you and Jesse told me about, right?
Yes.
That's the art of comfiness.
Yes.
Yeah,
From-
it was an answer on I believe Jeopardy the other day,
It's
and I was
spelled
like,
Hygge.
yeah.
It's all like candles, good smelling things.
Right.
You know, hand
Yeah.
knit sweaters. Well, I'm sorry that I'm disappointing you.
You're not at all. This is much more important. I could have figured out the cider thing on my own.
Yeah, and we're not even close to fall.
No.
But it may
We're in
be
spring.
in like September, October, I could do that episode.
Okay.
And, I don't know, does LA really have a fall you have to survive? It feels like,
Well, me.
yeah, I mean,
I do, but
you always kind of need a sweater.
I always need a sweater.
And I get it. Most of us aren't going to fall from the side of a building or off the side of a cliff taking a selfie.
Yeah.
However,
Oh, God.
according to the WHO, falls are the second leading cause of unintentional injury deaths worldwide.
Oh, my God.
Do you know that?
No.
Each year, an estimated 684,000 people die from falls
Wow.
globally, of which over 80% are in low and middle income countries. It's a lot of people. Adults older than 60 years of age suffer the greatest number of fatal falls.
Okay.
Not surprising. So, to that point, age is one of the key risk factors for falls. Older people have the highest risk of death or serious injury arising from a fall, and the risk increases with age. So, This little segment I'm going to talk about right now is probably for most of our listeners' parents. 'Cause
Okay.
I bet most of our listeners aren't over like 65.
No, I'm guessing they're all younger than us.
So-
because I think everyone's younger than us, but maybe not.
But also more, I don't think most older people listen to podcasts.
Oh no. Yeah, that's like it's an impossibility.
But this is good for you to know, to let your parents know.
Okay.
Right? How we can help take care of our parents.
Okay.
Here's how you can keep your parents from falling
okay,
to their death.
right.
This is what they need to do. Regular exercise to maintain strength, balance, endurance.
Yes.
To catch yourself to avoid falling. Get your eyes checked at least once a year. Get your hearing checked once a year.
good.
And consider a hearing aid. Have your doctor review your medications. So, because medications can make you dizzy and increase your fall risk.
Right.
This is important. Parents, talking to you. Not mine, because they don't listen.
They need hearing aids.
Get rid of clutter. No books, papers, clothing, or pet toys left on the floor, or furniture that partially obstructs paths to the bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, or front door.
Oh my God, my parents are dead already.
See, you got to tell them.
Tchotchkeville.
If you're listening, Danielle's parents,
Yeah, those fairies are going to come out and kill them.
they're going to break those hips. And
It's
then
going to be a very charming way to die, but nonetheless.
forget about it. Install railings on stairways and always use them, and grab bars around the shower or tub and toilet.
Don't you kind of want to have one of those things that zooms you up the stairs?
You did my stairs? Yes, this last couple weeks.
Oh, yes, you do, actually.
I
Yeah.
have a lot of stairs to get up to my house, and
That's
with
right.
crutches and a leg brace, I was wishing for one of those zoomy chairs.
Yeah, those zoomy chairs look fun. I don't live in a 2-story house and never have, but that just seems like fun.
No, I know. I don't live in. Our house is all on one level.
Right,
just
but
getting to it.
there is all the stairs.
Yes. Okay, I'm almost through the safety tips. Floors, floor coverings, throw rugs are a big no-no.
Yeah.
Good lighting. Oh, this is really important because this is where a lot of people fall. Make an honest assessment of your footwear. Shoes should fit well and be comfortable and supportive. Last tip. This is important. Do not walk in silk. No, this is not the tip. Do not walk in silk. Never walk around in socks around your house.
Oh, okay. You need grippy socks.
You need house shoes or grippy socks.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just get Pilates socks.
All right. I'm going to tell a story. If you have no more questions about falls,
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
well,
Top of my head. Say off the top of your head.
do not land on your head.
You'll die.
You will definitely die, even if it's just the first floor of your house.
Yeah.
All right. I've got nothing more to say about that. Are you so ready
Yeah.
for a crazy fall story?
Yes.
That is not about cider
Okay, yes, I am.
or car coats.
Okay.
Here we go. On the evening of January 26th, 1972, Bruno Honka heard screaming coming from a hillside just outside of his village in Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
As he went to investigate, he came across a grisly sight. Ooh. The wreckage of an airplane torn apart by an explosion.
Oh my God.
Though it seemed impossible that anyone could have survived such a crash, Honka soon realized that someone had. Amid the wreckage was a woman wearing a blood-stained turquoise flight attendant uniform and no shoes. Her name was Vesna Vulovic, and though she didn't know it yet, she had just survived an epic fall of 33,330
Whoa.
feet in what is one of the strangest world records, surviving the highest fall without a parachute.
Oh my God.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Serbian-born Vesna Vulovic was 22 years old and had been a flight attendant for only 8 months before the fatal crash. She joined JAT Airways, Yugoslavia's largest airline. However, her dream almost didn't come true. With a history of low blood pressure, this is important. This is what I'm telling you. Vulovic knew it was unlikely she'd pass the medical exam. So right before heading in, she drank several cups of coffee, hoping it would keep her blood pressure high enough. It worked, and she was allowed into the flight attendant training program. 8 months into her career, she was told to join the crew at JAT Flight 367, or JAT, flying from Stockholm to Belgrade with a stopover in Copenhagen. Though she realized that JAT had confused her with another attendant named Vesna, she agreed to join anyway. Just 47 minutes into the flight, disaster struck. At 4:01 p.m., there was an explosion in the baggage compartment. The aircraft broke apart in midair before falling 33,330 feet down to the ground in Srbska Kamenice, Czechoslovakia. Of the 28 passengers and crew, Vesna Vulovic was the only survivor. Fortunately, Bruno, the villager who discovered her, had been a medic during World War II
Oh my God.
and was able to keep her alive until rescuers arrived. But it was no easy feat. From the crash, Vulovic had sustained 2 broken legs, 3 broken vertebrae, a fractured pelvis, broken ribs, and a fractured skull.
Oh my God.
She spent several days in a coma recovering. Air safety investigators believe that Vulovic's position within the aircraft at the time of the explosion helped her survive the fall. She was in the rear of the plane with a food cart when the fuselage broke apart. While many other passengers were sucked out of the plane after the explosion, Vulovic became pinned by the cart. The small section she was in fell to the ground on a heavily wooded, snow-covered hillside. Vulovic's doctors concurred with the air investigators and added their own conclusions. They claimed that the very thing that almost kept Vulovic from being a flight attendant is what ultimately saved her life. Her physicians believed her low blood pressure kept her heart from bursting on impact with the mountainside.
What?
The explosion was determined to be from a briefcase bomb planted by the Ustaza, if I'm pronouncing that right. Okay.
Oh my God.
Here's a little bit more. From the hour preceding the crash until almost a month afterward, Vulovic had no idea what had happened. She remembered greeting passengers for the flight and then nothing until she saw her parents in the hospital room. Like, lucky.
Yeah.
She has no memory of any of it. The first thing she did upon waking was ask for a cigarette. I love her. Her recovery period was actually relatively short and incredibly successful, a fact she attributes to a childhood diet that includes chocolate, spinach, and fish oil.
Oh, yeah. I like that diet. That sounds good to me.
She remained an avid flyer and died in 2016 at the age of 66.
Oh, that's kind of young.
Yeah.
So in other words, oftentimes when people fall, their heart explodes. Well, with the impact.
Yeah.
It's not the fall, it's
I
the
think
impact, it
in
sounds
this
like.
case, what killed them, it sounds like, was the freezing air. Did I read that? Is that...
You didn't read that just now. Maybe you read it before you were...
I might have read that in another, because I read a couple pieces about this
Yeah.
case, because it's in the Guinness Book of World
I bet.
Records, that when people were sucked out of the plane, they froze
Oh my...
in the cold. It was that's what killed them.
crazy. That's crazy. Wow. Well, good for her and her low blood pressure.
Right?
And then imagine being the guy who finds that wreckage, and then I wonder if he's the guy who landed on the roof in France.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure he is. I'm sure it is
Coincidences
that guy.
like that happen all the time. And
All the
You know
time.
what? I think we should just go ahead and say that it was.
It was that dude.
Yeah, it was 100% that
And he
guy.
was a medic, trained medic, and he, in the war, and then he saved her.
I know. I think he just changed his name because he didn't want all of the fame
Yeah,
from the
the
glass.
attention.
He was
Yeah,
tired of being like
yeah.
glass roof man.
Right.
That happens a lot where people are just like, I'm tired of all the accolades. I want to
Yeah.
just move to this that village.
Yeah, in Czechoslovakia.
In that place.
Uh-huh.
The former Czech Republic. And
That's an amazing story. Wow. Thank you very much. And we will be right back with our guest, Chris Grace.
welcome back to How to Survive. I'm Christine.
I'm Danielle.
How's it going, Danielle?
It's good. How are you?
Never been better.
Right? What if that were true? What if this is the best you've ever been and best will ever be?
It might be. We don't know what's going to happen after I leave the show.
Well, with your family's luck, they'll all fall down an elevator shaft or something.
That'd make a great episode, though. So,
Like L.A. Law. Do you remember that? Do you remember that, Chris?
Yes, I do.
One of the
LA
characters died.
Roxanne?
Roxanne, yeah. She just,
I remember LA Law, but I don't remember somebody falling down an elevator shaft. Which character?
Roxanne.
Roxanne, I don't remember
The
this.
woman with the short red hair, right?
That's what that song is about.
That's right.
Garen, can you show me a picture of Roxanne from LA Law? Stat.
She was an abrasive but cool,
Yeah,
interesting character
right.
that was very divisive, I think.
And then they killed her off by shoving her down an elevator shaft. And I think she just walked into it, right?
No, she the doors opened and she was like, "Okay, see you later."
Bye.
And it wasn't there.
It was
And
so shocking.
Wow.
And like kind of...
Oh, yeah.
No, that's not Roxanne.
But I remember her. I remember, this is
that
what I
was
remember.
the
That's the secretary.
admin assistant or something.
Jimmy Smits. He was from
Oh, maybe her
Was he
name's
from
not
LA
Roxanne
Law?
then.
No.
Okay,
NYPD Blue.
Wait a second.
I'm
Hold on.
getting my-
Let's put a stop to this.
Yes, I'm sorry. That was wrong.
Jimmy Smits was in both LA Law and NYPD Blue.
He was. Okay, thank
He
you.
was Victor Cifuentes on LA Law, and he was. It will come to me in a second. And you're right. The Roxanne was the secretary, not the abrasive. Yes.
Oh.
What was her character's name?
Rosalind.
Rosalind. Well, they shouldn't have named characters Rosalind and
Exactly.
Roxanne. That's ridiculous.
Two different on the same show?
Yes.
No, you can't do that. Why would you even do that as a scriptwriter? You know to name
There
them.
should only be one for each letter in the alphabet.
Because every
Yes.
time you type in, they're both going to come up.
Well,
and
back
that's-
then it was probably they were just probably,
R-O.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they had to use typewriters.
probably using typewriters.
Oh, that must have been hard to write scripts without Final Draft.
Yeah, the Stephen Bochco. Wasn't that the? Oh, what's the one where they type at the end of the? The production company's thing is someone typing and then throwing
I know,
off a piece
I
of
can
paper.
see-
Stephen J. Cannell.
I can
Thank
see it.
you. Thank
He
you.
throws it and
That's
it becomes
why-
the C.
Yes.
Yes.
You're a genius. That's why we have Chris Grace on. We're so excited. We were just talking about how to survive a fall, like from an airplane, and we're going to talk about another airplane catastrophe with Chris. But before we get into that, Chris, I want to explain that Chris Grace, you know him from not only from Superstore, but Pen 15, where I think you were a coach.
I was a wrestling coach.
A wrestling coach.
Yep.
Now, here's what is traumatic to me about this. Not only is Pen 15 a traumatic show, hysterical, but traumatic if you've ever been a teenage girl.
Yeah,
I would
maybe
say.
a teenage boy finds it traumatic too. I don't know. Let's pull the two.
Did you find it traumatic?
No, but I found it hilarious.
It's hilarious too.
Yeah.
But it was filmed at my actual motherfucking junior high. Walter
Wow,
Reed.
really?
Yes. So I don't know if your parts were, but there are certain establishing shots that were at Walter Reed.
And you were just able to recognize that, or was? Oh wow,
I
that's
think
wild.
my part was filmed at the actual gym of the high school where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah. Middle school.
Middle school, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't. It was double. Yeah, middle school. Anyway, yes, I recognized it, and someone else had caught it and said it on Facebook, and then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's Walter Reed." Well, this has just become the most painful experience of my life.
I
But
wonder, who's Walter Reed? Because he's got that hospital.
I know. I think he was
He's in some songs.
doctor or something.
Yeah. You grew up here, so
Yes.
people that didn't grow up here, we've all seen these high schools in TV shows and movies that it's like, what is this high school where like people walk outside? Sometimes
Yes.
the lockers are outside.
Yes,
Oh, they don't
schools
have
look so
that?
different.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then you get here, it's like, oh, that's why they all look like this, because LA high schools are this like
weird.
good weather experience. you
Oh,
know?
so if you're in a cold climate, everything's inside?
Yes, it's much different. We had like those radiators inside of the. In my school was like a big brick building with all these levels, and there were radiators in the room that steam would come out of. I
Really?
mean, it was very
Okay.
different from a California school. Where
fact-
did you grow up, Chris?
in Texas, so it was a big building with a bunch of air conditioning.
Oh, yeah,
there
yeah.
was no like outside promenade the way, that like in what's the Emma Stone movie? It's like the
A-list?
Easy A.
Easy A. Like I remember
Yes.
watching that movie and was like, oh, everyone's just walking around outside
Yes.
between
Oh,
classes.
yeah.
and-
Looks so fun.
like Grease, like the
Yes.
Yes.
Which is Venice High School, which my son applied to. So yeah, that all. And my grade school was the establishing shot for the Brady Bunch grade school.
So wild.
So probably every school in
Every
this
school I've
area
been
has
to,
been
yes,
in something.
absolutely, 100%.
I'm excited to be here because
We're
I
excited to
love the
have
show. I listen to the
you.
show, and this is the best podcast that's recorded in this studio.
Oh, damn!
Chris Grace is
Throwing
bringing
shade.
I'm just trying to get people riled
I
up.
love it. I love
The Reddit that I don't ever go to because I did once and I'll never go back is gonna go nuts.
Yeah, they're gonna have your ass.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
We're so excited to have you here.
I'm good. I'm COVID tested. I was saying I got nervous, even to have no reason to be nervous. And
Yeah.
I'm just out and about. I'm actually going. Speaking of airplanes, I'm going to London in a couple weeks.
Oh,
Nice.
And luckily, the COVID spike there is dropping because I
Oh,
was
good.
like, because I don't know if you ever make plans to go somewhere and then you see the numbers like start to go up, peaking exactly like the time that you're going to be
Yes.
there. But
I
it's going back down.
Literally have not traveled since before COVID.
Oh.
I've not been on an airplane. I haven't gone anywhere. So I I haven't done that, but obviously I know lots of people have canceled things or postponed, or you don't know.
Yeah.
Are you going for work?
No, I'm going for my birthday.
Fun.
And there's a play by a company that I want to see, so I was like, I'm going to treat myself and go to London. And I booked this, like, at some point where I was like, it'll all be over by then.
Right.
But it looks like it's going to be okay.
What is
That's
the play?
exciting.
It's a play by a company called Punch Drunk. They did a show in New York called Sleep No More, which is an immersive Macbeth / Rebecca Hitchcock play where you walk around with a mask and everything. It's like 5 floors of a building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's great. And this is their new show. It's called The Burnt City. It's about Greek mythology. So they take over an entire building and you walk around, and their shows are insane.
That sounds really
So
cool.
it's like one of those mystery theaters, or like Tony and Tina's Wedding, but like not lame.
It's more. No, I forgot to mention. I see only extremely lame theater.
Oh, okay. You should get on a flight for that.
Yeah. No, it's more. A lot of it's more like dance pieces, theatrical, but they're just happening, and like 2 characters, like in the Sleep No More, like Macbeth and Lady Macbeth will be in a room. She's giving him a bath. They do a little dance piece, and then they go run off in 2 different directions.
Oh, and you get to decide
who to follow.
How fun!
Yeah, it's
wow,
great.
it's like choose your own adventure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I am currently reading Rebecca.
Oh.
And
It's one of my favorite books.
Oh, really? Is it? I love it.
Oh, if you go to New York, you should go to Sleep No More because it's half Macbeth and half the story from Rebecca.
no,
and it's kind of mixed together.
I may have seen the movie a million years ago, but I don't remember. So don't tell me anything because I honestly don't remember what happens.
It's different anyway.
Oh, okay. But I love it. I love it so much. I'm really enjoying
not
it.
to spoil, but in Rebecca's trying to get these 5 gems that control the universe.
And then does she freeze time and take half of the people?
She gets rid of half of the people in the world. So, I mean...
That is different. That's different than the book so
Movie's
far.
a little
maybe
different.
that happens. So, Chris,
Yes.
what is your story? I'm intrigued.
Well, I have a story about a time that I was supposed to go on a corporate job.
Okay, so what was your job?
So the job was I was supposed to go do musical improv for Delta Airlines.
Okay.
Now, this sounds amazing already.
I was going to say, it already sounds
It does.
like kind of a nightmare in the making.
Yeah, so this was Christmas time. I think this was 2019 or 18. Christmas time, they have a lot of people traveling, a lot of like potential tension when the airports get really crowded.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So their idea was to get me and some of my improviser friends through a group I'm in called Baby Wants Candy. And we were going to get ugly Christmas sweaters.
Okay.
And go to the Denver airport and at the gates improvise Christmas carols for the people waiting.
Wait a
Okay.
second. So what? Okay, I'm picturing the scene.
So we walk up in blue and white ugly Christmas sweaters.
So that
Why blue and white?
is
To
that
make it
Delta?
Yeah, something
interdenominational?
yeah, you had to make it look like Hanukkah.
Hanukkah?
So everyone can enjoy.
No, they were like designed to be like Delta colors, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So they know, like, hey, we're with the airline. We're not just.
I guess so
Pure.
that part
Okay.
actually wasn't super clear sometimes. I mean, it was just 5 people ran. I mean, I'm sure some people thought it was just a flash mob.
Right.
But it was 5 of us walking up to a gate and being like, hey, we're here to cheer you up a little bit on your way home to see your families.
So tensions are super high at the airport
Yes.
around
Already.
Christmas.
I
It's one of
mean-
the busiest time.
And do you want to see
No.
poorly rehearsed improv? No. Because it's not like our group, we do musical improv, but like it's not like we do this specific thing very much, which is like, so this is what it looks like. This is like, okay, we're going to sing Deck the Halls. But first I'm going to be like, Christine, where are you going?
Oh, no.
What town are you going to? Like Wichita Falls, and who are you going to see? My aunt. All right, and then
She's dying.
yeah. And then it would be like, Christine's going home to see someone who's dying. Fa la 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 la. We really hope her doctor's not lying. Fa la 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 la. Dee, dee, dee. And then some of it was like regular choruses and stuff. But it was like that. We would like walk up to a gate and sort of who doesn't like improv forced on them?
I mean,
Oh no.
okay. So as a performer, is this? Are the 5 of you, right?
Yeah.
Are the 5 of you like looking at each other like this is hell, or this will be fun, or what's your sort of attitude before going in?
Well, it was like we don't have any idea how it's going to go. So it was kind of interesting because it was just so different as a gig.
Okay.
It was fun to just fly somewhere and be put in a hotel,
Yeah.
and it paid pretty well because it was a big corporation.
Yeah.
But it was also one of those things where like they didn't really know what they wanted either.
Oh, boy.
I mean, imagine the people coming up with it, whatever ad agency or the other thing was that they were filming these to go viral.
Oh.
In fact, I'm pretty sure if you go back on Delta's like Instagram to that Christmas, you can see some of these songs and like little snippets of them. But they really want to. I mean, it's also when a big company wants to go viral,
Yes.
and they're like, "This is really people are gonna share this," and you're like, "They're probably not."
Never
Intentionally
works. Right.
viral segments.
Right.
It's really
So
tricky,
it was
yeah.
that we have no idea how it's going to go. So
Okay.
that's kind of interesting. But then also there were elements of like, they weren't received that bad. I mean, some people genuinely enjoyed it. But then also we do it, get kind of a tepid response, and then go be put in a holding room
Oh my
to
God.
wait for the next one. And then while we were waiting in the holding room, we'd just be like, it was, just a break room sitting around. And I'd be like, well, does anyone want to play Jackbox on the iPad? For 45 minutes. So it was a whole day of just so not understanding what was happening or expectations. So it was interesting in that way.
So you'd be at one gate and then just wait for the next flight, or you'd go from gate to gate?
We would go from gate to gate and from terminal to terminal, which is important in the story.
Okay.
Later.
Okay.
So that's the gig I was going
Gotcha.
on. Oh, by the way, I mean, I didn't know any of that really going in because it was one of those things where like, just go to the airport. And it wasn't like we've got this master plan we're going to tell you. It was kind of like we get there and they're like, okay, so what we're thinking is, what if we go to they're kind of coming up with it.
Oh, no.
And saying,
You guys will figure it out.
And I don't know if you've been in the situation, but as the performer, they're saying kind of what they want, and you're trying to kind of manage them to be like, okay, but maybe we don't do that.
Right,
Like,
yes.
because you're like, I don't think this will work necessarily. So there was all that element of uncertainty to it.
Okay.
So the twist in all this is that this is like a 2-day thing. So we go to Denver, we do some of it, we stay in a hotel, and then the next day we do some, and then we fly home.
Okay.
So the twist is I go to the airport at LAX, and at LAX, I'm in the security line, and I just have a carry-on bag. I don't need a lot of stuff. And I realize I don't have my passport. And because I tend to bring a passport for flying, right? Which is fine because I have my license.
Yeah.
I look in my wallet. My driver's license is not in my wallet.
No.
So I don't have any ID.
Oh, shit.
And I'm in security getting up to the front for them to like check,
And you're just like panic.
I'm panicked because it's not only do I not have a way to get onto the flight, but I also don't have, it's also like a 1-day gig. So it's not like I have a buffer of like, let me go home. Like we're
Right.
doing stuff that day.
Right.
Yes.
It's not like a gig where I could be like, I'll catch a later flight and
Right.
Yeah.
whatever. So I've learned a lot about this process through going through this, which is that you can fly without an ID at the airport.
Okay.
So this was complicated, but like I got through it, which is you get to the front and you tell them like, I forgot my ID, and the security guard's like, okay, well, we've got this process for doing it. And the way that you fly when you don't have an ID is you have to get on the phone and do a pretty complicated, like, you know when you apply for credit and they're like, which of these streets have you never grown up on?
Okay.
Just to test who you are?
Or which of these addresses? Yeah. So I had to answer like 4 or 5 of these of, what high school did you not go to or something like that.
Yes.
But it took a while. I had to be like separated out from the line. So my friends who went in, they get through security, and it took me probably 45 minutes.
Okay.
But then I'm allowed to fly. So I get from LA to Denver, arrive at the airport in Denver, where we immediately like do some of the gig because we're in the Denver airport, and I'm already behind security when we land.
Okay.
Right.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Then I find out, which I didn't know, that the next day we're doing more, like we're going to the hotel, which means we're leaving security.
When you say leaving security, what do you mean?
So when I land in Denver, we're doing gigs inside the terminal, so I haven't passed out of security yet.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is fine. So we do all the gigs, do some gigs there, and then we're leaving the airport, going to a hotel right next to the airport. The next day, we're going to have to go back through security,
Right.
to get to
The gigs.
gig. And the next day, the gigs are like at one terminal, and then they're at another terminal, and then they're somewhere else. And they're like, well, we'll just go. We'll have to go through security a couple times for each of the gates.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have ID at all, and it's
Right.
taking me 45 minutes every single time. And also, I'm thinking they might not look kindly on this guy, being like, "Can you ask me those questions again?" every
Right,
time?
right.
And I also sometimes when this kind of stuff happens to me, like I tend to like not tell anybody. 'Cause, like I'll be like, "I got through it. I'll be fine." And now I'm realizing I'm gonna have to tell somebody because.
What do you mean you didn't tell anybody in your group?
They knew, like the other
Delta
but I didn't
people.
tell anyone like official.
Oh,
this
where they could have
happened.
helped you to get through it easier.
Or just like, but I also didn't want them to be mad at me that like, you know,
So they know like if you're showing up late and stuff.
right. And
so
Yeah.
every time, is it, where did you not go to high school? Where did you not live? Or is it different questions?
well, so I didn't even entertain this possibility because I didn't want to. We were kind of like running around all the time,
Right.
So I just didn't think it was feasible to like go through this process every single time. So I just jumped security. No,
Just a guy in a Christmas
I mean,
sweater.
I just stole someone's passport. And
Yeah, sure. Improv.
Yeah. So I did tell my friend Al, who booked the gig, who was with us. He was sort of the liaison between us and Delta. I was
Okay.
like, I don't have my ID. Once I found this out, I landed in Denver. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize tomorrow we're gonna have to like move from one zone to another.
Yeah.
Right.
So I told him like, I don't have my passport. And first he's like, well, how did you even get here?
Right.
Like, how did you show up on a plane without an ID of any kind? So he was like, well, it's possible that we could have your ID from home like shipped to you somehow
In a day.
in a day.
Okay.
Because of course, the first thing I did think of was like maybe I'd call my husband who's in LA and he can do something.
Yeah.
A picture and text it
something,
or something.
right.
Yeah.
He is on a gig shooting something until like 8 p.m. that day and can't leave. So there's nowhere in the house. And I have a sense of like where the passport might be. And then my friend Al was like, well, there's these weird ways that you can actually get something couriered to you on the same day.
Okay.
And it's like you have to bring it to the airport and someone, like it goes like with an airline and it
Okay.
gets dropped off.
Oh, all right. They're making this trip anyway.
And they're like super expensive. I mean, it's probably like $80 or whatever.
Which is what you were making.
Yeah. I mean, I lost $100 doing this. No. So, but also, I don't have any way to get in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I call my friends Rob and Meredith, who live sort of close to us, and I'm like, okay, can you do a couple things? I mean, like, and also, I mean, I have no idea if they're free or anything. I'm just
Right.
but I mean, here's the things I'm about to ask them to do, which is, can you go in my house, find my passport? Can you take this to one of two courier places and ask them if they can courier this to the Denver airport, like today?
Yeah.
To arrive by like 9 p.m. or something like that. So I basically assigned them this like gigantic logistical errand
Yeah. Here's a really unfun, like, scavenger hunt.
that you have no, like, I mean, they might just be like, I don't know, we're going to the beach today.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, it means getting them into our house, which I mean, they might have visited once or twice, but like, there's a difference between your house when you have friends over and your house, the state that your house is in when
Yes.
like
No
you're
one's coming.
Yeah. So like just any random day I just show up at your house, like it might not look the way
Right.
it does when your friends come over.
But how are you going to get in how are they going to get in anyway?
Well, I have a key in a like
Hidey,
lockbox.
like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But that was the easiest part of this.
Okay. All right.
So I called. So they're like, okay, we'll try. I mean, also they've never done that. I've never done this before. I've never gone
Right.
to like a courier place and been like, can you get this across the country in 3 hours or whatever? So basically, I had to give it to somebody who I knew could kind of like. I knew they would have to figure out like 4 or 5 steps.
Yes.
Without me.
Right. Right.
So-
We all have certain friends who are like, no problem, and other
yeah.
friends who are like,
Yes.
oh God, this
You
is
have
not gonna...
some friends that would like you tell them to go do this and they'd be like, where's the lock?
Yes. Yes.
Like, wait, how do I put the numbers in? And you're just like on the phone with them for the steps 1 and 1A. And you're
Right.
like, this is not going to work.
Right.
But they're very resilient in that sense. So they go to my house. They get the passport is on my computer desk because I had set it out to take
But
with
where was
me
your license?
in the passport. Because I had taken it out to be like, let me make sure all my ID is right here.
But why would you take your license out of your wallet?
I mean, if I could answer that question,
Okay.
I would be.
You're like, I'm just going to bookmark my passport with my license.
Well, the thing is, I was reading my passport and I was like, I don't want to lose my place.
Right,
let me put
exactly.
this driver's license in here. I mean, what could be something convenient? Oh, I've got this card.
Yeah.
That's
Why would you need
Perfect
to bring
bookmark.
your passport? Were you not born in America?
No, it's just that this is a very irrational thing, but I always feel like I'm fancy bringing my passport. I'm always like, I've got a passport. Why not use it
Oh
to
my
fly?
God, that is hysterical.
I mean, I don't want to be those people that just uses my license. I mean, like, I'm not
Oh my
basic.
God.
It is so basic.
It's so basic.
Well, pretty soon you're going to have to with real ID if you don't have a real ID.
I'm future-proofing myself.
You are.
know?
You're of the future.
Like, I'm a continental person. I
Yes.
go to Europe. I'm going to Europe soon. I'll be using my passport.
Yeah, so you just want to,
Ugh, what am I going to just show? Why don't I just show
Yeah.
my Kohl's cash card?
You're going to stick when you go to England, you're going to stick your passport in your birth certificate
Right.
and then leave that under the couch.
Right. I'm going to put my plane ticket in my Bible. And just be completely
Okay.
stuck.
Okay, so you call upon these good friends.
Responsible.
These LA Angels, and
Yeah.
they find the passport and the driver. I think they sent me both, and they figured it out how they went to some like messenger courier place, paid the $90 or whatever it
Right.
was, and so then I think they actually couriered it to my hotel. So we did the day's gigs, and then when I got back to the hotel on the first day, I believe I had a package waiting for me at
Amazing.
like 10:30 at night.
Amazing.
Which was my passport
for the next day. Then
for the
you had
next
it.
day, and then the next day I was able to like go through security like multiple times. I mean,
You're just showing it to anyone because you're so excited you have it.
I showed it at the McDonald's drive-through.
Sure.
Well, you do that anyway, right?
I mean, I do that anyway because
'cause you like to use
just to
your
let them know
passport.
that I go to Europe a lot.
Yeah.
I show them. I go through all the stamps.
Yep.
They're like, "Sir, I'm on a microphone. I can't see what you're showing me." I'm like, "It doesn't matter. Just take my word for it." And I would like 12 McNuggets.
Yes. Like they do in Bulgaria where I've been. If you could see my passport, you know.
Exactly. So, so then the rest of the gig went, however, then it was still such a weird gig on top of that. But the amount of like stress I had in like this very compact amount of time and these like weird solutions that I never would have thought are a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I do.
It's crazy that you can fly without it's good to know. It's
Yeah.
really good to know, but it's almost bizarre that you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, because I mean, you could hack someone's credit.
Yes.
So you could have access to a lot of the same questions and answers that I
Yeah,
answered.
it seems like the least sure way to verify someone's identity. But
Yeah. And I think that it's one of those things that I think a lot of people, if they forgot their ID, they just be like, well, I'm not flying.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
have
to
to
go
cancel.
home.
yeah, I would assume you couldn't do that. Yeah.
I'm going to go home, get it. I'll be late, or
Right.
we're not doing this.
Right.
And it was just because of the circumstances. I would not normally be a person that's like, you know what? I don't have my idea. I'm going anyway.
I'll show up.
You know what? I mean, things are going to work out for me in this,
Oh, I would never
Imagine
assume
that
anything was
person.
going to work out in that situation. I would probably
Imagine
just
the
be in tears.
confidence.
I know.
I mean, I have that confidence now. Of
course.
Now
Yeah.
everything works out for me, which is great.
Oh, I love that for you.
Yeah.
Did you fly in the sweaters?
No, we received them. I still have the sweater, though.
Of course.
Because it's a lovely sweater and actually a decent sweater for ugly Christmas sweater parties, which I don't know if are ever happening again.
Right. But then you have to meet up with your other 4 friends to
Yes.
make the sweater work.
Yes, I'll see if I want to find this Instagram link with the viral video, the theoretical.
Yes.
Delta,
We need it for this episode.
I think has, they probably have like millions of Instagram followers. And I remember like seeing like, oh, this has been liked 78 times. Wow, this viral effort's really going strong.
Oh my God. And what was the reaction from the people the captured audience, captive audience?
I would say 70% indifference.
No.
I mean, I think you would be indifferent.
Yeah.
Also, we weren't mic'd. That was the other thing, which is kind of good for the customer experience, because that would probably be even more obnoxious. But worse for like it going well, like worse for people understanding the
words.
hilarious
Yeah,
lyrics,
right.
or so if you want to like pan to like delighted Delta customers, but they can't understand what you're saying, that's probably not so great. A lot of indifference. A couple of people that were like, oh, I mean, of course there are some people like, oh, Christmas carols, oh, delightful.
Yeah, they probably thought it was just Christmas carols.
Yeah, I mean, people like Christmas carols. Yeah, I think for some people, there's apprehension when just. I mean, I always have apprehension when just people perform at me all of a sudden.
Oh,
Yes.
I hate being performed at.
I do too.
It's awful.
If I'm not going intentionally to see it and then it just happens at me.
No.
Yeah.
News bears.
I remember when I was doing open mics and I got to the address and realized it was a Starbucks. And I walked in and it was just a mic set up between people like working on like their master's degree homework and two people just having coffee. And I was like,
Did you do that, Mike?
No. I was like, no, thank you. I can't. That's
No.
a bridge too far.
That was crazy. I just can't get over. I mean, I've done some bad gigs, but oh my God, just singing, but trying to be funny, but not mic'd in front of travelers in goofy sweaters.
Yeah.
And then you're walking through the airport with your goofy sweaters on.
I also love that you found that. That's the part that's stressful of this trip.
It is. That's the part that's stressful. No, not having your license is terribly stressful.
Yes.
Like if I open my wallet, this has happened a few times where I open my wallet and I'm like, what did I do with my credit card? Because I keep
Yes.
everything in my wallet, but occasionally, like, there's a restaurant near me, I'll walk to it, and then I don't want to take my whole purse, so I'll just take out my credit card, and it's like, all right, which of the 500 coats I have is it in? Where
One habit I do a lot is if I go through a drive-through, I'll put either the credit card I used or the wallet into the little
armrest.
thing,
yeah.
and then the next day my husband will go to some appointment. He'll be like, "Your wallet's been in the car for 2 days."
Oh my God.
And it's a pattern that I do enough to be like, I should know,
Yeah.
even to look there if I don't know where my wallet is, and
Yeah.
I'm still stumped every time.
I know.
Well, you know what's so helpful though is that now people know if they do go to the airport
Yes.
without their ID.
I know, it's such a
They
good-
don't have to just be like get out of line and go, well, I'm going home.
Yeah, I love this.
It's good.
I love this
I think it's
knowledge.
actually really helpful to know. And
They should, at this point, they should just ask you which podcasts you haven't been on, because that might be a better way to identify someone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which Marvel Universe podcast
Yes.
have you not been
right. So are we going to see you in let's get you in the Marvel Universe.
on? I would love to.
Yeah.
You know, my career idol
Yes?
is Benedict Wong, who is
Not BD Wong.
I love BD Wong too.
Okay, I don't know if I know who Benedict Wong is.
He is Wong in Doctor Strange.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And he has had an incredible career, and it came from like comedy.
Yeah,
He,
yeah.
he like I know that Oliver watches Peter Serafinowicz, the Serafinowicz show.
Yes.
He shows up on that show a
You're
lot.
kidding.
Yeah.
Is he British?
He's British.
Oh, okay.
Actually, some of those old British shows are hilarious because you'll see him, and now he's got a great career.
Yeah.
But also like Olivia Colman.
Yes.
We'll
so
show up
see
in
her
sketch-
some random sitcom or something. Yeah.
And then she's like this incredible dramatic
Yeah.
actress. But yeah, so I would love to do all of Benedict Wong's parts.
Okay, well,
maybe
let's
he'll
get
just
rid of
like
him.
let me
Yeah.
have them. I mean, I was telling you before we recorded that someone at one point mistook me for Ken Jeong.
Right.
So
Just because you're Asian.
just because I'm
Right.
Asian, and I'm also Ali Wong's ex.
Husband. Right. Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like I can just go to any set and just be
Yes.
like, yeah, I'm the one you
Oh,
cast.
that's make
Yes.
the racist Asian thing work for you. Just go in
Yeah.
and then just insist you're that person,
Yeah.
and then if they
make
and
them
then make
tell
them
you.
the asshole.
Yeah.
And then if they don't believe me, I'll say I don't have my ID.
And you know that'll work.
Answer some questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. We can't thank you enough, Chris, for being on.
Thank you so much for
this
being
was
here.
great. Is there anything we know what shows to look for you on? Is there any like social media or anything we want you want to plug? Or?
Oh, I did just launch a podcast.
Oh, yes.
With my friend Missy Pyle.
Oh, okay, yes.
I went to college with.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
So we are both working actors. She's a lot more successful than I am. But we started a podcast called Freelance Pretend, and it's about trying to be an actor.
Oh, that's great.
I love it.
A lot of it's about like, Missy's been super successful.
Yes.
And lately I've been relatively successful, but people think I'm a millionaire.
I know you don't. Right.
They have.
Right.
I mean, you grew up with this, but
Yeah.
they have these conceptions about what it's like to be an actor. So
Yeah.
And we're talking to actors and talking about like when, stuff didn't, like, we've both been like fired from things or cut out of things.
Sure.
And that kind of stuff. So it's about that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
Got a lot
that's
of
great.
stories.
Yeah, it's called Freelance Pretend.
Great.
Oh, that's fantastic. She's a tall blonde lady.
Yes.
She's a character actor like you are.
She was in Galaxy Quest and Dodgeball,
Yeah, she works
Charlie
on
and the Chocolate Factory.
Right.
yeah, she's great.
Yeah. Oh, how fantastic. Okay, we will listen to that. And thank you so much. That story was crazy. So stressful on
many
so many levels. I'm
turns.
stressed for every person involved. I want to see a picture of you in the sweater.
We gotta
You may
add
have
a
to send
link
that to us. Yeah,
to the
Oh, we'll have to add a link to the
show notes for sure.
Yeah, to the viral, the quote unquote viral video.
Yeah, you add to the virality of these videos.
Yes.
Years
Again-
later, they just suddenly blow up.
Why is this suddenly? We're gonna have to bring those guys back. Oh my god! And we will be right back with
What we've learned.
today. So let's learn what we learned today.
I am ready.
Give benefits to your helper bras. Don't land on your head or your pelvis. Both are deadly. If you can hit something on the way down, your survival rate increases. Be small. Small equals slow. Be young. Hygge is a Danish and Norwegian word for a mood of coziness and comfortable conviviality with feelings of wellness and contentment.
I think our podcast has hygge.
I think we do.
Karen's nodding his head.
Do not walk in silk or socks or silk socks.
No, those are out of style.
Walter Reed was a U.S. Army physician and medical researcher that confirmed the theory that yellow fever was transmitted by mosquitoes.
Thank you, Walter.
Oscar Isaac is handsome no matter what version of him it is.
I'll take any Oscar anytime.
No kidding.
Man. Hey, go to podhowtosurvive.com and check out our merch. There's a link on our website. You just click it.
Click it and ticket.
Click it and ticket.
You're not ticketing anything, but you will
See what we have.
see what we have. And we have lots of fun
I
stuff.
just got a t-shirt for my mom and my aunt.
Yes.
They're coming to visit, and I got them 2 red ones, men's, because they like men's style.
Okay.
And they're very soft.
Oh, good.
So just confirming the red.
Will your mom have any idea what the shirt refers to?
I don't know. I think she knows I have a podcast.
Okay.
And I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
She might just
Maybe
be
she'll
like,
be-
cool.
Yeah.
I like t-shirts.
Yeah.
And she'll wear it, and people will ask her about it, and hopefully she'll at least tell them
Yeah.
what it is. And
Yes.
as always, go to our social media, go
Yes.
to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram. It's all at Pod How to Survive. Thank you for your letters. I promise we're going to get to all of them eventually.
Yeah, sorry. Sometimes we just, we chat and chat and chat, and our episodes are so long, we want to keep them nice and small so that when they fall, when they're dropped,
They don't die.
they don't die. When that episode drops, because it's small, it has a better chance of survival.
Say it one more
Right.
time.
When that episode drops, because the episode is small, it'll have a better chance of survival.
Boom.
Boom. And as always, remain calm.